Hello and welcome to another episode of Ask the Wizard, streaming live for October the 26th. You're not normal, so get used to it. Starting the 5-minute timer. Now get comfortable, grab a coffee, and we'll see you in 5. Hey everyone, how you doing? It is October the 26th. 5 days till Halloween. Wow, crazy stuff. Reiki workshop, in-person workshop. First one in, like I said, probably 18 months coming up here in Red Deer. First weekend in November, I want to say 5th and 6th. Love to have you join us. Go to healingcenter.ca and you'll see the link there. You can click on it. check out more information, register, all that cool stuff. You're not normal, so get used to it. This is something that once you discover that and surrender to that, I suppose would be another word for it, then nothing is the same anymore. And that's not a bad thing, of course. But it does place you often in a very tenuous position. Because now you have to somehow, well, no, that's not the, I was going to say you have to somehow learn how to navigate in a world with, and I'm being somewhat facetious when I say normals, you have to learn how to navigate in a world like that. But that's not where the real uncomfortableness comes from. It's a challenge, to be sure, but I don't think that's because those of you that have discovered you're not normal have also discovered it's not always easy being not normal. I think I'm confident, the biggest challenge isn't that we have to somehow navigate our way in a world that is normal. And again, I'm just using that word as a handy label. I think the fundamental discomfort and tension and maybe even frustration, it comes when we forget that we're all in the same world, but we're not of it. And we never will be, at least anymore. And the discomfort comes in when we decide that somehow, or we get on this thought process, oh no. The discomfort comes when we compare. I think the last broadcast I did was that question of why do we compare? Or it might have been a blog post, I can't remember. When we compare our life experience with the normals, and again, I'm generalizing, but you look at that lifestyle, and I've often said this, or I've always said this, both, that we've been raised in a society where you don't have to think, where you can be born, live, and die, and you don't have to think for yourself because you're told, either just outright or through osmosis or through example or through this is what you need to do to fit in. Right? You see, that's where the discomfort comes in. When we compare ourselves, then somehow we think maybe we have to fit in. Rather than understanding that I live in a world that has a different set of rules and laws. Now, those rules and laws are available for anybody. But when you wake up and you realize them and you start to live your life by them, you are now fundamentally different than most of the people around you. And sometimes I know for me, I slip into comparing. So I am, what am I? 61 and change. And I look around at what other people, I guess my age, are doing, what they have, things like that. And it's really easy to compare where from an exclusively external measurements, where they're at and where I'm not. And when you start to do that, it's not fun. Until you remember that when you woke up, you chose a different path. A path that has these amazing experiences that are outside of how much money you have, how many holidays you take, how many things you have, your status in the external world, whatever it is. You remember that your life experience is different than theirs. And that's okay. It's okay to maybe not have all those things. It's okay to feel like you don't fit in, because that's a really big deal with the normals, is to fit in. And again, use those external tools to measure, how am I doing? How am I not doing? What should I be? Who shouldn't I be? All that kind of stuff. What do other people think of me? Am I accepted and am I not accepted? I mean, it goes on and on and on. And to remember that the path that you and I have chose takes us somewhere, in many ways, it feels completely different. But we've chose to wake up, either purposely or by accident. Sometimes it's a bit of both. But we've chose to wake up and discover that life is more than just those. There's nothing wrong with any of that. But life is more than just those things. And that's okay. It's okay to be different than, fundamentally different than most of the people around you. In the manifesting manual, that binder right back there, I wonder if I can find it. I won't take up a lot of your time if I can't. I think it's at the... Hold on, don't mind me. Let's see if I could find it. I probably won't, but... Oh, look, I found it. It's actually this. Hold on. Manifesting Home Study course, you can get that too. I'm sure there's a link on the website. If not, message me. It's just right here. Can't remember. This is interesting. I didn't plan on this. The entire workshop, this is related to the manifesting workshop. The entire workshop boils down to one simple question and truths that can and will change the entire course of your life. Are you willing to allow yourself to grow, change, and evolve into a person of peace and power? And in doing so, that's really good, you will forever become fundamentally different than 99% of the people around you. And, you know, people go, yeah, I want to do that, I want to do that. But when it actually happens, I mean, it is amazing, but it's not always easy. Because 99% of the people around you, I just sort of picked that number, they're doing the everyday things, and there's nothing wrong with that, but life is so much more than just that. Right? So what does it mean to be who you are and who you are really meant to be? At a fundamental level, you will think differently than, again, just about everybody around you. Hi, Jocelyn, how you doing? At a fundamental level, you will see differently. At a fundamental level, you will feel differently. You will see circumstances and nuances of the external that others don't. People go out, and I'm just making stuff up here now, or cherry picking things. People go out for a walk in nature and they see pretty trees. And yeah, the trees are pretty, but there's so much more out there. So much more to experience than just the physical aesthetics of something like that. But here's the upside with being different, with not being normal. And it's work. But here's the upside. Where others see difficulties and hardships, you will see opportunities for victory. There will be times when your friends and your family may think you're crazy. So true. There may be times when you think you're crazy. There may be times when the people you are now with will no longer have anything in common with you. But having said all that, your life will become one of challenges, victories, and adventures. We were never designed to live the same day over and over again. We were never designed to just have the right bank account, the right body shape, the right car, the right whatever. We were never designed to have routine in so many ways. We were designed to be creators, and we are creators of our world, not the world, but our world, when and how we choose to accept it. We step into assuming the responsibility that my external experience and how I think about it and what I do about it is my responsibility. It's nobody's fault, especially mine and anybody else's. But I have the opportunity to create something different. And you've got resource, you've got materials. I mean, I've got them all over the place. And of course, I'm just one of an infinite number of sources that you can learn how to manifest the life experience that you're looking for. But you're not going to do it when you, and I'm speaking to myself too, when and as you continually compare yourself to the normals and to what they have, and then often what you don't have. But you have is knowledge, you have wisdom, you have the wonderful gift of remembering who you are, so that you can choose to create your experience. You learn to understand that you're not a victim of any person, place, thing, or event out in your external world. You learn that you function under a different set of rules, and you don't have the limitations that the normals have, because you have access to that creative flow that creates universes. I mean, they have too, but if they don't plug into it, then it might as well not be there. So you have access to that creative flow. And yes, it's work, and yes, it's diligence, and yes, you'll feel ostracized at times, and yes, you'll feel alone, and yes, you'll feel like you don't fit in, because you don't. But rather than berate yourself for not fitting in, rather than, it's almost like depreciate yourself, and I'm talking to myself here, for not fitting in, embrace the not fitting inness. You're not normal, and you never will be. And your life experience is going to be, as I said, fundamentally different than 99% of the people around you. But it's the best life experience that you're on, and you're on it now. And I've been on this path and worked with a lot of people for a lot of years. Once you wake up, you can't go back to sleep. I've seen people try. Never works out well. It doesn't mean that people can't sort of stop wherever they're at and just kind of sit at that level. I mean, that's great. But I don't know. There are those of us that it won't go away. You can't be static. You just can't anymore. The normals do. They want to work hard, retire early, whatever, do stuff like that, right? But there's those of us that it's kind of like a life sentence that we're never going to be normal, nor would we ever want to be. And to embrace that. And to be okay. There was a TV show, I can't remember what it was now. It has to do with Navy SEALs or something like that. Because one of the things, it was a drama. One of the things they said was a Navy SEAL is comfortable with discomfort, to learn how to be comfortable with discomfort, because we always will be. We're not alone, but we will always will be the remnant. We will be the 1%ers, 5%ers, whatever. And that takes work, and we need to manage that and things like that. But once you discover that, I honestly don't think, for those of us, and not everyone, that you can't go back. So just embrace the not normalness. And maybe in doing so, we harness and unleash that creative flow to create experiences that the normals will never experience, to see things and experience things that very few people ever do, to have our lives make a difference, to have our lives have a purpose, to feel that sense of destiny upon us that is so strong it outweighs any of that other stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but life is so much bigger than that. Well, that was a bit rambling, folks. It just, my throat isn't quite what it should be today. But I thought it worked out pretty good. Share. We're all in this together. Reiki workshop, in-person workshop in Red Deer, November 5th and 6th. Would love to have you join us. We're all in this together, folks. See you on the web.